So we have an angle diagram at right, and we're asked to use it to write and solve an equation for x. So as I look at this diagram a little bit closer, one of the things that I know is that I'm told that these lines are parallel to each other. So the presence of these markings, these triangular markings on each line, indicates parallel lines. So these lines are parallel to each other. And when you have pairs of parallel lines, there are quite a few angles that are either congruent or supplementary. Probably the most basic is that this particular angle here would be congruent to this angle. Those are called corresponding angles, because if you look at them, they're both in the upper right or upper left corner rather of these lines that are intersecting. Right, I've got two lines intersecting here, two lines intersecting here, upper right, and there's many pairs of corresponding angles, right? Not only are those corresponding, but this angle corresponds with this angle. This angle is corresponding with this angle, and this angle right here corresponds with this angle. So one of the things that's true is angles that correspond with each other have to be congruent. Right? They have to have the same number of degrees. So the angles that are marked in black, or the two that are red, or the two that are blue, or the two that are green, would be equal in measure. Now, another thing that's true is anytime I have two lines that intersect each other, right, I always form what are called vertical angles. So vertical angles are the ones that are right across from each other. So those two angles are vertical, and therefore they're congruent. These two angles are vertical angles, and they are congruent or equal in measure. So as I look at this, this is how I'm going to think about this. This angle that's marked 2x plus 9 degrees is a vertical angle with the one that's blue across from it right here. So these two have to both be 2x plus 9 degrees. And now if you look at it, they're both, the 2x plus 9 is in a spot that's identical to the one that is 5x minus 9, right? They're in corresponding locations. So those two angles must be equal in measure, and if they have the same number of degrees, if they're equal in measure, they have to be equal to each other. So I can set 4x minus 5 equal to 2x minus, or plus 9 rather, and solve for x. So take away 2x from both sides. We've got that positive 2x minus 5 is equal to 9. And I can add 5 to both sides. 2x has to be 14, and if I divide both sides by 2, I get that x has to be the number 7. So x is 7, and I could plug that into the original equations, and if I did, I could get those angles. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 minus 5 is 23. And then 2 times 7 is 14, and 14 plus 9 is probably 23 also. 14 plus 9, plus 9 is definitely 23. So yeah, the angle, the value of x has to be 7, and it does, yeah, it's 7.